You quit your job. Does that mean you're leaving me? No, that's not what I meant. Becoming independent is just a career shift for me. It doesn't mean there's no income. You're going independent. Are you serious? That won't work. Well, if you feel that way, maybe it's time for us to go our separate ways. Wait, are you talking about divorce? I can't support someone who isn't working. My name is Lisa. I'm 40 years old, balancing work and raising my child. I took time off when my daughter was born, but when she started elementary school, I was fortunate to be rehired by my previous employer. I primarily work from home now. With my daughter in 6th grade and my life more settled, I believe it's time for me to explore new opportunities at work. My husband is 40 just like me. When we first got married, he was a salesman with a promising future. Confident in his abilities, he switched jobs 3 years ago, hoping for a better salary. However, the outcome was the exact opposite. His new salary is lower, his benefits are worse, and he now works overtime every day. My family runs a farm in the countryside. Since she was young, my daughter has enjoyed spending time there, helping out in the fields whenever she visits. My parents love working alongside their grandchildren and have always been dedicated to involving her in farm work. Despite this, my husband despises the countryside and refuses to visit my parents' house with me for any reason. I'm heading back to my parents' house for a week. What about you? I've got work, so I won't be joining you. I'm tied up with a project that's nearing completion. Got it. I always knew my husband wouldn't be coming along, but it's important to ask anyway. Even if you're aware he won't be there, it's part of being a family. When my daughter and I are away at my parents' house, he calls me every day. While it's fine if he's calling out of concern or affection, his calls often revolve around trivial matters. What should I have for dinner today? How about the leftovers in the fridge? I'm not really in the mood for that. Then why not cook something yourself? Why should I? I'm exhausted. I know you've had a long day. By the way, where are my change of clothes? They're folded in your usual drawer. Whoa, what's with these corners folded like this? Well, if you're not going to take care of it, then you're on your own. My husband has been like this the entire time I've been at my parents' house. I mostly ignored his calls and messages. He's never happy when my daughter and I visit my parents. Every time we return home, the place is a mess with garbage everywhere. Mom, when we visit Grandpa's house, he always leaves the room in such a state. Yeah, he does. Why do you always end up cleaning up after him? Mom, he's the one making the mess, right? Shouldn't he clean up after himself? Absolutely. My daughter is just as frustrated with my husband's attitude as I am. Even though we enjoy our time at Grandpa's house, I dread coming home to a messy place. Yeah, Mom doesn't like it either. Hey, can we leave Grandpa's house soon? I feel bad for Grandpa and Grandma. They work so hard in the fields. I wish I could help them more. Thank you. Grandpa and Grandma would really appreciate that. My daughter's kindness is a stark contrast to my husband's selfishness. I'm growing increasingly tired of his childish behavior. After a long vacation, I returned to the office to discuss my health, annual assessments, and future goals. My daughter's suggestions inspired me to present a proposal to the president. Why don't we use our program to integrate more IT into agriculture? Well, that's a concept other companies have been exploring for quite some time. That's true. It's a field that's been established abroad for decades. Japanese companies have been developing new agricultural business models for the past 10 years. With the data and patterns we have, I believe we can make it work. We already have potential farmer partners who are interested in this operational model. I'd understand. In the meantime, could you submit a proposal? Sure, I'll get on it. I immediately reached out to my parents and they agreed without hesitation. My daughter's comment about her grandparents working hard and her desire to help sparked a great business opportunity. A month after submitting the proposal, my project was approved. I threw myself into the work, driven by the hope that if the project succeeded, It could benefit my aging parents. However, my husband was relentless in trying to undermine my enthusiasm. You've been acting kind of flirtatiously lately. It bothers me. Oh, really? Are you getting carried away? I'm not sure. Your face just brings me down. If it's affecting your mood, then you don't have to look at me. I understand what my husband is doing. He's trying to make me feel bad. I already feel pretty down, just as he wants. But I don't let it show on my face. I keep my tone neutral and treat him normally. He's always been this way. Whenever I start to get excited or enjoy myself, he seems determined to bring me down. I'm used to it now, so I don't let it affect me too much, but it still doesn't sit well with him. Ha, I can't just avoid you. We live together. That's not true. You can just stay in your room. I'm perfectly capable of handling my job and taking care of my daughter on my own. If you took better care of yourself, we might avoid these confrontations. That's not what I meant. My husband is yelling at me and it's really upsetting. I want to get a divorce, but I'm unsure how to explain it to my daughter. I'm struggling to make a decision, and since I don't react to his outbursts, he's now criticizing the farmers. Maybe your difficulty in understanding his underlying intentions is because you grew up on a farm. He really is acting like a child. I try to stay calm, but his comments about my parents really get to me. This time though, I'm the one maintaining my composure. For the first time, a project I proposed has been accepted and I'm so motivated that my husband's irritation doesn't bother me much. So you're saying you can't do your job because you grew up in the city? That's crossing the line. That's exactly what I'm going to tell you. Stop being a jerk. No, you were the one who started this. We've been arguing a lot lately. He used to be a nice guy, but he changed just before he switched jobs. My husband and I were already struggling to get along, but my work was going great. A few months later, I decided to resign from the company after discussing it with them and citing a licensing agreement. I chose to become independent. I had informed my husband about this decision in advance, but he clearly didn't pay attention. As soon as I resigned, he told me he wanted a divorce. You quit your job. Does that mean you expect me to support you? No, that's not it. Becoming independent is just like changing careers. It doesn't mean there won't be any income. You're going independent? Are you serious? That's not going to work. Well, if you feel that way, maybe you should go independent for me too. Wait, are you talking about divorce? I'm not going to support someone who isn't working. I was taken aback by his sudden mention of divorce. It left me speechless because my thoughts were focused on our daughter. Mom, get a divorce. My daughter, who should have been asleep, burst into the living room. My husband looked momentarily taken aback. I'm only making a clear choice. It's your fault for saying you're quitting your job. My husband, standing in front of our daughter, is trying to shift the blame. But my daughter only sees me, and my husband's behavior has been out of touch from the start. Are you sure about this? Yes, I want you to get a divorce. I don't like him. He always says hurtful things to you. Mom, don't say you're staying together just for me. I want you to get a divorce right now. Alright, if that's what you want, let's go live with Grandpa and Grandma. Thank you. But you'll need to switch schools. Are you okay with that? Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. Great. Let's go. You don't have to talk to Dad anymore, right? Yeah, I suppose. Well, I guess that's it for now. We can work out the details later. Hey. Oh God, what now? It's not my fault, you know. Alright, we'll discuss this later. I just hope you can build a future we won't regret. Huh. I'm not doing that. I'll be free once you're out of my life. I turned away from my husband, who was still shouting, and left the house with my daughter. At my parents' house, my daughter seemed at ease. Despite my concerns, she appeared to be enjoying her new school since the start of the semester. Once she was settled, my husband and I had another conversation about the divorce. He insisted he wouldn't pay alimony, claiming it was my fault. Normally, if I were at fault, he'd be the one seeking alimony. Yet since he wasn't asking for any, I didn't understand why he felt I was liable. I will be requesting proper alimony. Huh. You think you can do that because you believe I'm at fault? You. I knew it. You're just unemployed and lacking any real understanding. How can I be at fault? I haven't done anything wrong. True, you haven't done anything about the house or our daughter. I was shouldering all the responsibilities while you were content, but you're always so accommodating to Mary, handling everything for her. What? I placed the evidence of my husband's infidelity on the table. What's this? How did you get this? Did you steal my phone? That's rude. Excuse me. You're the rude one. You're a married man. What do you think you're doing? And I didn't gather this evidence. You had the means to hire a detective. It's about our daughter. Ha! She's the one who collected all this. After we separated, my daughter told me that you used to walk arm in arm with a woman she didn't recognize. She used my laptop to sync your phone and showed me the data. She even encouraged me to divorce you, saying she hates you. She's upset that you're her father. So I can divorce you without a second thought. I can't believe you allowed your daughter to see these pictures of you. You're such a poor father. I have all the evidence, so there's no point in making excuses. Also, your new job is a result of yet another affair, and you mentioned you're paying alimony to that affair partner's husband. You even lied about your salary being reduced, and I've looked into everything. After hearing this, my husband, who had been so obstinate, finally nodded in acknowledgement. I'm proud of our talented daughter. I'd be thrilled if she takes over my company in the future, if that's what she wants. Sorry. Are you playing devil's advocate? Let's not get divorced after all. You wouldn't want to be unemployed, would you? No, I'm not changing my mind. Besides, you're the one in trouble. If you refuse to pay alimony and child support in a lump sum, I'll go to your company and tell them everything. Hey, if you do that, I'll lose my job. Maybe it's time you start looking for a new one then. You're going to regret this for the rest of your life. My husband stopped and asked for my help, but I merely smiled and dismissed him. When he hesitated to sign the divorce papers, I hired a lawyer and let them handle everything. Within less than 2 weeks, our divorce was finalized. My ex didn't want to incur any more costs. With 2 alimony cases and child support on top, a lawyer was pushing him to the brink of financial ruin. Eventually, he paid all the alimony and child support in one lump sum. Unable to cover it with his savings, he informed me that he was now in debt. He tried desperately to make me feel sorry for him, but I chose to ignore him. When I also filed a claim for alimony against the cheating partner, my ex-husband and his partner ended up in a huge argument and broke up. The partner was livid about having to pay alimony, but ultimately, she complied. She borrowed money from her parents to cover the payments and then returned to the countryside to help with the family business, where her parents could keep a close watch on her. Meanwhile, my ex-husband could no longer afford the rent on his apartment and had to move into a rundown place. My business has flourished and I'm enjoying every day. While things didn't work out with my husband, I'm grateful that what I've learned has been beneficial for my family's farming business. My parents are thrilled with the new IT system, which has greatly reduced their work hours and eased their workload. This entire transformation was made possible thanks to my daughter. Though there was some initial resistance, allowing her to have a smartphone and tablet in elementary school has proven to be a wise decision. She seems to be making good use of them. While my daughter still loves spending time in the fields, she's developing an interest in my work as well. Recently, she's been asking me to teach her how to build a website. I'm excited about her future. Although my 12-year-old daughter is exceptional, it saddens me that she has been exposed to the less admirable side of her father. I hope the adults around her will provide the care and support she needs. Your mother is right. I look forward to your future,